The ceiling fans? They're very attractive.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom, brought to you by Ceiling Fan Man. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my! The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Today's episode, how pandas are made.
Panda!
Get ready, so get set, so hang on, so buckle up, so sit tight, so strap yourself in, so brace yourself, so keep your eyes open, so fasten your seatbelt, so stick around, so hang on, so get ready. You just have to be ready. Brace yourself. What you're about to see will open your eyes. The surprises never stop, so you better hang on, so get ready, so fasten your seatbelt, so hold on tight, so hang on, so get ready to get ready, and get ready to get real.
The Incredible Hulk will not be presented this evening.
You're all individuals! Yes, we're all individuals!
Clickety-click.
Crank up the music. Keep an eye on the back.
This presentation is provided to you to amuse or entertain and not to conform or inform. The content on this channel should not be used to replace professional, financial, medical, or legal advice. All footage taken and used from public sources falls under the fair use of the Digital Millennial Copyright Act of 1998. Therefore, no breach of privacy or copyright has been committed. This show is substantially sourced, not affiliated with any community, club, fraternity, or gang. Your cat may vary. I say, moo. Religions are so different. The Jews don't recognize Christ, the Angelicans don't recognize the Pope, and the Baptists don't recognize each other at the liquor store.
Satellite tracking continues.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. I'm so excited to be with you all tonight. It's just been such a wonderful, glorious week in my personal life, and I couldn't wait to come out on Friday here and just talk with you all. And there's so much to talk about, as usual, and I can make 5 minutes stretch into 2 hours, so I'm not worried about filling the time. But first thing I need to do is find my button to turn on the camera.
Clickety click.
That's it. Hey, everybody. Good to be seen by you all. Glad you could all make it again. We're on the right side of the grass, so congratulate yourself. You can reach back there, and we did it. Whoop, whoop, right? We made it again. And so I don't know. There's all kinds of things I want to talk about. Definitely, I'm going to just discuss the first thing, get it out of the way, because here's the thing about YouTube. It's just YouTube, okay? This could all go away just by switching the channel or me unplugging a cord here. Your life will continue on with or without this show. I love doing this show, and as long as I can still manage it, God puts it in my heart, I'll be here and I'll do this. Where's this guy?
That's very true.
But what I'm finding is, even though I stay in my lane, this show rarely, it seems like, and God blesses me that way, rarely do I get a lot of issues with trolls and problems in chats and stuff. But it seems that if everyone's wondering, why is no one blue? As my show, I've been doing this over 4 years live every single Friday night. I didn't even understand that. Doesn't make sense to me either. I think I've missed maybe like less than 6 shows, and maybe less than 6.6 shows. So, what was I going to say? Rarely do anything ever happen to this show, which, it's a blessing by God. But I had an errant wrench, a person that has blue. If you don't look, if you don't want to hear about this, skip ahead, and I'll do like that, as long as that's not a Masonic sign, and then you can turn it back on if you don't want to hear about the wrench thing, if you're watching it later. But you get a wrench, your name goes blue, but there's a lot of things that can happen with that. You can delete anyone in the chat. You can hide anybody's name you don't like, you hide them, and they're gone. And I might not even know about it. I do check that, but it's not something I do every day. I've got a regular job, and I do this just out of the love for this. And so
when you have people with wrenches, not only can they do that, but they can go back through shows and delete comments that people make when you have a show up on YouTube. And that was happening to me. And I haven't had this issue in a long time, but because I've been doing this over 4 years, there's a lot of people that have been with me that long, and some even longer, and some I've met personally. But now there's a whole new bunch of people, and God bless you all that you're here now, because my numbers are going up as far as my viewership live, and also on subscriptions, memberships, all that stuff. And thank you again. I love that. I really appreciate. I appreciate my audience. But since inception of me starting a channel, people get hung up on this wrench thing. I mean, it's not even real. You can't fix a pipe with it. You can't. But what you can do is mess with a channel for good or for bad. And so I don't have the time to try to figure this all out. And so my solution was this: wipe all the wrenches out. Done. There's a few people that have them left. I picked J's in the beginning. I had Jeannie, I had Jenny, and I had Trish. That's not a J. Whatever. Who has a wrench right now? You want me to go down and explain the pie chart or whatever that I figured it all? It's not worth it. I'm not gonna. I made that decision. So there might be a few others. I think Jen, there's another J, and Shapu, but he doesn't have a J in it. But that's about it that I know of right now. Of course, myself. So if the only reason you were in here watching this show all this time, sorry about the hand movement. Try not to do that since my heritage. But if the only reason that you're here was because you had a blue name, well, then whatever. I'm not gonna apologize for this. I'm not gonna make a big deal over it, And there's people I've known forever. There's people that have sent what do you call it? Tithings, money, support. People have bought soap. People that I know personally, like I've met, they all went. It was no affront on anyone. None whatsoever. I just didn't have the time to go through and try to figure this out. And because I've been doing this so long, there was a ton of wrenches. I mean, I remember people used to come in and make jokes about my chat and say, oh, it's the Blue Crew plumbing team or whatever, because everyone seemed to have it at one point. And so I just needed to, what you have to do when you want to clean out a room? You take everything out of the room, you fix it all up, and then you put in the things that are needed after you've cleaned the house. So I cleaned the house. So if you don't have a wrench, I'm sorry. It's not an affront on you. I didn't have the time or energy to try to figure this out. So I just wiped them all out, and I threw a few in there in case I do get a troller here. But yeah, I have a hammer. Exactly. I have a hammer. And so again, this is YouTube. It's stupid. And I am excited. Jeannie knows that I'm excited. Oh wait, I gotta hit this one. I'm excited because whenever someone talks about a subject, and I know, okay, woe is me, but I find this fascinating. Jeannie hears about this all the time. That's a silent white for you new people. And she hears about this all the time. That they'll be like, oh, have you heard? There's really good information on flat Earth. Yeah, you go on this channel, nothing, not here, right? And Mandela effect. They name all the different channels. Never my name. They wrote an entire book, and I have literally the first videos I ever did. I think I still have 3 or 4 of them up. They're all Mandela effects. I used to do Mandela effects with Brian Stapley all the time. I mean, we've done many shows, and I've done them with Jen, and I've done. They write a book and all that. No mention of me. I mean, it's comical. I always say to Jeannie, well, God's keeping me humble, and I like it. I like it this way. Honestly, I'm thrilled the numbers have been going up, but it kind of terrifies me. I see these people that have 50, 60,000 subscribers or whatever. And, I think if there was, right now, my goodness, I got almost 140 people right now. But if that number was like 200, 300, 400, I don't know. I try not to look at the number as I'm live. I usually just see myself or whoever I'm talking with. But the fact is that it's really funny. They never mention me, no matter what the subject is, right? So finally, I get mentioned. What's the subject? Everyone's a shill, right? Everyone! And so they pick me, and what was really funny is I said to Jeannie, "Oh my God, look, come here," because she was there. Like, oh, they finally look, someone did, they did, but it was on that, and so then of course I laugh about it because what is their definition of a shill? Okay, so first of all, what I see is this. I'm sorry. Oh yes. Okay, good. He's on the list. Oh yeah, Shapu made it too. I had good company. We both made it. It was exciting. It was so exciting. So, definition of shill. So first of all, one of the things and here we go. I'll shill it. I love it. This is fantastic. I'm so excited about this whole thing. My wife makes handmade soaps. Okay, they're great. You'll love them. I mean, this right here, what is it? $22 for 3 bars of soap. Okay, go look at how much you pay at the grocery store if you're getting a good soap, the natural Whole Foods or whatever you go to. You're going to have to buy soap somewhere unless you're just a disgusting ape and you never wash yourself. So, this was a way to support the show. So that was mentioned. Oh, look, he's still soap. Oh, yes, we do. In fact, look, I have samples of it right here. Let me never tell an Aries something because then they do it 10 times harder the wrong way. So here's some soap. She just made these new labels, and you can see, and it's kind of phasing out, but look at that. Do you smell that? It smells good. Smell it, right? And then this is the clay infused one she makes, right? And so you smell that one? Okay. So yes, so we sell soap. She makes it out. We have a shed out back. She makes the soap in there. She's been doing it for a while just out of love. And people started asking for it, and we started selling it. You don't have to buy it. Buy your soap at Walmart or wherever you want to go. Costco, okay? Don't get mad at my soap that my wife makes. It makes her happy, keeps her busy, and, instead of like boozing it up or whatever. And so, and we, what do I make? What do you think? You think I can send a kid to college on this soap? Come on. It's silly. It helps. You know what it does? It's the same thing with the PayPal link that's up in the corner near the microphone and the Cash App. It goes to 2 things. It pays for like the StreamYard, which is like $400 or $500 a year. Pays for the internet to run all this, stuff. And occasionally I can take Jeannie out to lunch or dinner, depending on how much I have in there. That's what it pays for. I have a regular job. This is getting harder and harder to do because I have more and more time away now since I have to. There's more for me to do at work. I've never really talked about that, but that's the case. And so I work this show as best I can. And I think if I told you how I put this one together tonight, you wouldn't believe me. So I'm not gonna. But here's the thing. So there's that. And then the PayPal and the whatever, and ads. So there's ads on my show. I was blessed to be able to monetize. A lot of shows either don't have enough subscribers or they have they've done something or said something and they did get demonetized. It happened to me once, but I sent in they asked me for a rebuttal video, I guess, and I made one. I showed it here once before. I think it's hilarious, and they monetized me again. So what does that mean? So you watch like whatever, I don't know. Sometimes it's like some get no ads. Some people get like 5. Some people get 20 ads. I don't know. They do it. I just hit a button, say send ads out, and YouTube decides. Okay. They send another letter in May. They're going to change it again. I don't even know what they're going to do. So what does that mean? So what is it, like 10 cents for every view or something? So at the end of the week or the end of the month, I mean, there's channels that make a lot of money. If you have a lot of view counts on your video, you can make substantial money to where you can pay your house payment or mortgage or whatever you rent and some other things. You can count on that. I don't because, you see my viewership. I'm thrilled. Trust me. But it's just like what I'm at, 1,400, 1,700 a week, which is wonderful for me. was nowhere near that. Those numbers are really high for me. So I'm excited. But, what is that, $100 a year? It's like, it's not life-changing money, but it helps. So that's how this channel is, shilling, basically. It's through the ads. It's through these few links. I think he put up that I had a Patreon, or I don't know. It's silly. You guys, you do you, I'll do me. If you think that this show and the Word of God should be broadcast with no tithing, fine. That's your prerogative. Go ahead and make a channel, do your own thing. There isn't a, and again, I'm not religious and I don't believe in organized religions. They're all corrupt. We'll talk about that a little bit tonight. But they all ask for money. I don't care what church you go to or what temple. Every single one of them, they have expenses. Every single YouTube person, they either have ads, have sponsors. I get ads from sponsors all the time. Hey, do you want to sell this trinket and become a, I don't have the time or energy nor care to do that. I do this, and if you find value in it, people put money into, people buy memberships. I'd love to, if I have time, do another members only video, just because I feel bad, but I thank you for that if you are subscribing that way, because it helps. So, but there's a whole bunch of you that don't have to pay a thing, and you never have, and you never will, and don't worry. Just sit back and enjoy the show. And the same thing with the wrench. Don't worry about the wrench. Just everyone should have one in my channel for a while, and just enjoy it and enjoy our. What happened? Oh, he doesn't. Is he in here? Where are you? Oh, all right. I'll fix that. I'll only fix this one, and that's it. Because I need someone in France that can do a SmackDown. So there we go. Okay. Thanks, hon. All right, fix your poo. But no, it's like, just sit back and enjoy this. Nothing's changed. It's like when I talk about the Mandela effect. Like, the Mandela effect is real, but nothing in your life will change. If Curious George has a tail or not, it won't affect you in any way whatsoever. If Ricky never said Lucy got some explaining to do, it won't affect you whatsoever. I mean, it might freak you out right now if you've never heard some of these, right? I have a whole video on how Timmy never fell down the well, right? That's my highest, my most watched video is my last video. Imagine that. And none of that Mandela effect will affect your life any way, shape or form, right? It's the same with the wrenches. Blue, not blue, don't worry about it, okay? So hopefully we've covered this. I just want this show to go out there organically. I want to be able to produce whatever this mess is that I do every Friday. And the people that want to watch it will enjoy it and not have to listen to this garbage. Oh, I did the hand sign. I should have waited because they might turn it on already. Wait, go back to sleep for a minute. I just want to have that. And then when I have a product that's out there and people want to comment on it, and especially good comments, because if it's negative, of course, I can get rid of it. That's my prerogative. There's no free speech here. I never said that. There isn't any in. Even YouTube, there's no free speech. Twitter, there's no free speech. There's none. It's none. So if it's a good comment, I'd like it to be out there and to stay. And I'd hate to see it disappear. And then when you see, I normally get, say, 40, 50 comments, and I get 10 or I think 15. I start looking and things are not matching up, and they give me an email when a comment goes. And so I'm just like, I'm done. So that's it. It's enough with the wrench talk. It's enough with the shield talk. Although, there is still that website if you want to check out the soap, and that's it. And I think at this point we should just say, we're starting the show. And here, what do we have? You don't have to sit through that again. All right. So I think we're good, right?
I don't care.
And Stephanie, if you just got here, that means you're tardy. Where is he? No, he's not there. He's not there. Here he is.
I don't feel tardy.
So you have to rewind it. I'm not going over it again. It was enough of a rant, but it was a fun one. I was really excited by the whole thing. So there's that. And I do have to definitely, I'll comment on this if I can find it. Where is it? Clickety click. God bless you, Mad Pax. I love you too. So thanks for putting up with me. I'm glad. I'm happy to put up with you. And look, it's just the majority of, I'd say 99.9, right? That's Trip 6 is upside down. Of the people that watch the show and listen to it, that's all they want, is they just want to sit here for a few hours, maybe learn something and enjoy themselves. And that's why I'm here. And for that other one, whatever that, what's the percentage out of that? I guess it would be 0.001, right? You get
I don't care.
right? Okay. So I think we're cleared on that. Oh, Mike just got here too. You're late for class. All right, one more for Mike. Wake and safe.
I don't feel tardy.
There you go. Okay, let's see. Let's get back into this here. Oh, thanks. See, you guys are the nicest audience. Do you see that, hon? It helps me here too. She goes, "Oh wow, I'm really married to a really nice guy." Right? That's what it's all about. You see it. Thank you. Love you. Shit. Okay. Get the likes up. Thank you. Exactly. So, thank you. Yeah. Tardy. You're tardy too, Sticks of Dynamite. That person has a PhD in cartoons. It's fascinating. So, yeah. All right. So, where should we go from here? Let's start with the show. And the other thing I love, so I did a discussion right when more and more people were finding me. I had started discussing pandas. It came across my desk, and there's so much fakeness about them that I couldn't help myself, and that's why there's so many of those panda videos. It did start out as like in China, they were painting dogs. They got caught more than once painting dogs and pretending they were pandas. And so I forgot to do the thing for the people. Hopefully they've tuned back in. And that's probably more than what I sense. Somebody will screenshot that and make, oh, look, he did the thing. So I got kind of known for panda things because I was kind of fascinated and obsessed with the whole story about how they only make like 1 or 2 days out of the entire year, and they only eat one food, that stupid bamboo, but they can't digest it because they're a carnivore, and so 99% of what they eat, they don't get any nutrients, so they have to eat all day long. And of course they poop all day long because they eat all that stuff they can't absorb, and they do it upside down in trees and urinate on themselves and stuff. It's just fascinating. And then of course, if you watch them, there's no way they can seem to live on their own. They're always falling and flopping over and stuff. And the fact that there isn't a single panda in the wild other than the Chinese tell you they're there, and you see it on televised vision. No one's actually gone and seen them. They only come out of China. All the pandas that are in any zoo out here or anywhere in the world, they're rented through China. So it's huge business. The fact that the panda never appeared on the Zodiac, but the dragon did. And it's like, no one ever saw a panda until just, I forget the year. That's off the top of my head. Then you add to that, what else is there? Is there more? I haven't thought of it all. There's just tons. And so I sort of kind of became the whole panda guy. And so now, in addition to potentially a dog with a panda face, we'll see that Rev has. Where is it? Oh, no, that's the soap store. The soap that my wife saw. No, somebody sent me this. I forgot who did. Darn it, I was going to mention his. But people are sending me all the time panda things. So this was just cool. This guy, he takes his camera and he makes his own animation, which is pretty cool. I like people when they get creative like this. So it's just kind of funny that I'm sort of known as a panda guy. That's it. So I thought I'd share that. Thank you for. I love all the things that people send me. So yeah, made in China, exactly. Oh, thanks, Mike. You don't think I'm a shill? Well, yeah, I appreciate that. I don't either, but hey, if I am, I'm doing it wrong, okay? Because I have a regular job I have to go to. So, anyway, yeah, red pandas are weird. Yes, flat-handed. Yeah, they are weird. They are weird. So, yeah, and
heard about that puppy?
I haven't heard anything about it yet. So, but yes, Stephanie, I've talked about. I started to go over duck-billed platypuses because there's so much wrong with them. I haven't done a deep dive on them, but I did discuss it on one evening. I forget, but yeah, there's a lot of weird animals that So, and in fact, here's one. Here's one. Let's. Where's my let's see. What are we doing here? Go here. Oh yeah, you wanna? Thank you. Where is this? Thank you. She's pouring in my ceiling fan man mug as I wear my ceiling fan man shirt and have my ceiling fan man pillow and the sweatshirt and the sticker for the soap. Are we good? Oh, shoot. Okay. Here.
Someone should get fired over this, right?
I used to do an entire series just called Someone Should Get Fired Over This, right? Because when you think about it, for something to be produced in TV, movies, books, whatever, it's got to go through so many different eyeballs that somewhere along the line someone has said, hey, that's wrong, right? And so that's why I have that Someone Should Get Fired. But this one came back because we were just discussing this tonight. The horoscopes. Now, one thing I know about Ginny is she's always been into horoscopes as far as there is something to be said. There is a real thing about them. God says that there are, signs in the stars in the sky and all that. And so when people are born in a certain frame of year, a lot of them have very similar traits. She's got this book that really pinpoints the weaknesses and the strengths on people, like really accurately. Okay. And so she's always been into that, knowing the different signs and how they act with each other. I'm not talking fortune cookie stuff. I'm talking, knowing that, like God says, that there's, certain seasons and times and all that. And so knowing that and how long she's looked at that stuff, the fact that if you're new to the Mandela effect and you maybe happen to be a Capricorn, if you thought you were a goat, like this old drawing of a goat, well, I have to say to you, wait, can you see that? There. See? Capricorn. I don't know. That's like old English spelling or whatever. If that's what you remember as Capricorn, well, then here's your Mandela effect. It's now a goatfish. Did you know that? Did you know Capricorn is now a goatfish? Always has been. You're misremembering it if you remember it as a goat, because it's always had the tail like a fish. It's half goat. It's now a chimera. It's goat and fish. Isn't that something? Is that new for you, Mad Pax? Isn't that weird? Yeah. So, and especially if you're a Capricorn, it really messes with your head because you think you would have known your own sign all these years. So that's the one. Yeah. Mike is wrong. Yeah, I agree. It's so wrong. It's so wrong. But apparently that's how the Mandela effect works. It's always been a goatfish. Always. Okay. So, and then this was also sent to me because, I've discussed the dollar sign. I'm not going to play this because it's Saturday Night Live. You get copyright strike. But the dollar sign, before I even knew about the Mandela effect, and I was at work, and I drew a dollar sign. I put the two lines in it. And it was a much younger person that worked there. And he said, what do you do that for? And I said, what do you mean? He said, dollar sign only has one line. And I said, when did they change that? And he looked at me like most people do now that, guy, you're crazy. He said, look at your keyboard. You can do it right now if you're on a computer. It's got one line. And it's always had one line. Okay. And there are people right now, again, I don't know how the Mandela effect works. There are people their entire lives that only had one line. Great. Good on you. But for the rest of us, two lines. It's always had two lines in my reality. I have an entire series of dollar sign things that it's called residue, because you'll find it on many things, including this was sent to me. I think this was 16 Alpha, Saturday Night Live, and they're doing their, fake Jeopardy. And there it is. The way I remember it, the way I've always remembered it. Again, there are going to be people saying it's always been one line. I get that. But it's wrong now. This is wrong. This show is wrong. But hey, that's how it works. I can't explain it. No one can. No one will ever be able to explain it other than this. I've said this before. No one can ever tell you, at least in this lifetime, who's doing it, how they're doing it, and why they're doing it. But what you can take away is God's in control. And so if it's happening, and it is, he's allowing it. Why is he allowing it? Again, those are questions you can ask God one day when you see him. But it's not for us to know. It's unnecessary. It's there to let us know the times that we're in and that we live in a supernatural world. And to me, it proves the existence of God. I don't see how you can't. I mean, everything in this Bible is coming true. And so I believe that he is allowing this to happen to help wake us up. That's it. And that's why I said it doesn't affect your life. However, it's a sign, just like the stars and stuff, to let you know, hey, things aren't like you think they are. You're not just going to go to work, do some 9-to-5 job, retire hopefully at 65, and then spend some glory days before you die. That's not the way it works anymore. We're finding that out. There's a lot more to this life. And to the goatfish. The goatfish. So, here, let me stop that. Get out of that. Let's see. So we get rid of that. And we'll keep that one. Okay. What was I going to bring up? Let's see if I have it. Let's see. What's this one? Yeah. Over that. Hang on, everyone. I'm coming right back here. Share screen. Clickety click. Here's one. This is a Batman show, the original TV show. I mean, how many people? Looks like Capricorn goatfish in there too. That's funny. But how many people had to greenlight this to get it wrong, right? Because you had the prop guys, they had to make it. They had the design guy as to what the cake was going to look like, right? And whoever wrote the script, and then, you know, eventually they roll it out here and the actors are there seeing it. The director, the producers, the cameraman, they're all seeing it. Not one of them's raising their hand going, hey, you got that thing wrong there, right? None of them. Then in post-edit and edit and post-production and all that stuff. And no one, not a single person, not anyone watching TV where, who was it back then? I don't even know who was showing Batman on TV, but dear CBS or whatever, you know, you really are idiots. You put 2 lines in the $ and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? None of that ever happens. We just pretend it's not happening, I guess. It's really fascinating to me that here, I showed this one too last time. Let's see. Clickety click. Yeah, you see that? So here's a news article, and you know, this is a pretty big deal. They're going to print this out and post it, and it's wrong. Or this one, the Wall Street Journal, they're going to do an ad, and it's wrong. I mean, at some point, it's overwhelming, don't you think? I think so. You just can't explain it all away. Let's see what else is on that one. Let me go back to that. Where are you? There you are. Yeah, this guy, OxyClean, which again, I remember it with a Y. But the guy that says, but wait, there's more. Never said it. Not once. He says it in my commercial, Ooh, I could show my commercial. I'll do that. Prove I'm a show. Look, but he's never said, but wait, there's more. Never said it. Go research it. Never said it. Now it's the other guy, the set it and forget it or something. I don't know. It's one of these other guys. We all know it was Billy Mays. We all know it, right? And to me, it was OxyClean with a Y, but maybe that, And this one's huge. For anybody in the medical field, like my wife, to know that this was the Health Insurance Portability and Privacy Act. This was all about the fact that you had to keep their information private. That's all this was. Not anymore. It's always been spelled with 2 A's, and the word privacy is now accountability. I made this one. I did pretty good. Now it's accountability. Always has been. I get this one with people in the medical profession every single time I show it. There's like no way people remember it this new way. So who said, wait, there's more? It's one of those other guys. Another shill. I like how this show just keeps going. It's another guy. I forget which guy it is. If you type in, but wait, there's more, you get the other guy. Let's see. Wait. Let's see who you get. Ron Papele. Let's see. Ron Papele. Okay. Clickety click, clickety click. And we are going to talk about the Pope tonight. I know that. You like that thumbnail? That was a ridiculous late night thumbnail trying to figure out what to do. This guy. They now say this is the guy. I think he's also the set it and forget it guy. Like he has like a chicken or something you put in there. Oh, his electric pasta maker. So this is now the guy that says, but wait, there's more. Not in my reality. Not in my reality. It was the other guy. It was the guy. Where does he go? Is he gone? Oh, I might have heard of him. Yeah. But it was the guy with that kick-ass beard, Billy Mays. But wait, there's more. He's in my commercial. He still says it in my commercial. My commercial. So here's the other thing. When I started this show ages ago, I thought it was hilarious that everyone was selling things. Like I grew up in the flat earth community and they sold everything, right? And so, well, that's what you do, right? They would show up late to their own show, like 20, 30 minutes, like the Rolling Stones, or they'd have a really long intro of some kind to let the room fill in. So I did all that, right? My first few shows are insufferable. I will never play them on air. I played one to my wife the very first show. It was a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Maybe one night if I'm really out of my head and you talk me into it, but most likely never. And and so I said, well, we got to get a store. So we opened a store. And the main reason, God is the main reason I even opened a store was, well, not this mug. You can't even get the real mug anymore. It's gone. That store's closed. But it was so I could make Ceiling Fan Man mugs. And we're a blended family. We have 5 boys. Well, actually 7 because we took on 2 more. And I wanted to give every single one of them a mug to drink out of, because, there's silly dad, stepdad, whatever, foster dad, has this silly show. And some of them like it and some of them hate it, but everyone was going to get a mug. That's why I opened the show. And then, of course, one of my best videos ever, I made a video about the mugs, and Billy Mays is in it. And so here you go. It's a minute. So here you go.
Get rid of that old mug. It's garbage. You want to drink out of a Ceiling Fan Man mug. Brand new from Ronco. The Ceiling Fan Man mug. Get yours today. Have you ever dreamed of going to space? Well, you can because it's fake, but you can get your very own Ceiling Fan Man mug. Proudly made in the exotic land of China.
China.
Your Ceiling Fan Man mug can hold cold liquid, hot liquid, granola, the TV remote. It can even stop a door from closing. Get yours today. Each Ceiling Fan Man mug comes with a commemorative box. Ooh. Order now and become your own legend by ordering a Ceiling Fan Man mug today. And if you order in the next 10 seconds, we'll include show notes crumbled up and autographed by Ceiling Fan Man himself.
But wait, there's more.
Any orders of 66 or more will get an exclusive personalized NFT of Ceiling Fan Man eating cereal. The Ceiling Fan Man mug. Get yours today. Don't be a loser.
Satellite tracking continues.
So, that's my mug. See, Billy May still says it in my reality, on my commercial. What records do I have? Oh, gosh, we could go into that another time. I could go over my favorite handlers. I was really big when, especially when I was a kid, into the 60s music, Beatles, Stones, Clapton, all that stuff. But then the 80s hit me pretty hard. I got great 80s records that Jeannie doesn't agree, but I do. So is there a Panda version, JT? No, not yet. I might have to update that and get a Panda version. But since I just saw that your first comment's in there, then that means you were tardy.
I don't feel tardy.
So, okay. And you made the video, JT, just so you know. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to the beginning of the show later. Not now, but later. You're in good company because Shampoo and I are on it. Yeah, the pandas are. I should. JD, write that down. We need to make a pandas are sus mug. All right, we'll do that.
That's very true.
So, okay. Where should we go from here? We covered the panda thing. Well, let's go back up here and see. And there is a store you can still buy stuff. I make just a couple dollars. Don't do it unless you just want to be, feel, you have a mug that you're drinking out, watching the show, or wearing a shirt. But don't do it. Okay? If you don't want to do it, don't do it. We make like $1 or $2. All this stuff's made in China. And don't just stop. All right, what are we doing here? We're sharing screen. See, I'm a terrible shill. I just don't know how to do that properly. There's my wife's soap store. Oh, this one was classic. I thought I should share this with anyone that needs to get a time off from work. This guy's just brilliant.
Yeah, boss man, I can't come to work today, boss man. I'm in the hospital right now. They got to run all kind of tests on me. I don't know what kind of test, but they say they got to do blood work, glucose, and got to check for my sugar and all of that. So, yeah, I'm not going to be able to come in to work.
Isn't that something? I don't have to play the whole thing, but isn't that great? So I thought that was just freaking hilarious. Yeah, right. Thank you, Kimasabi. Hey, Jeannie, I should take up pottery and make my own mugs and get them to have a better margin. Are you sure you're not part of my tribe, Kimasabi? So, okay. Oh, and 16, I'm sorry. What? You agree? All right, we're on it, Kimasabi. And 16 off, and anybody that's hurting right now or that's in trouble, let's just do it right now. Dear God, please watch over us through these times, and to all those that are hurting and healing, please send the Holy Spirit Comforter right now to help them and ease their minds and to ease their discomfort and fill their hearts with the joy that we know with our relationship with you and with everyone's voice here right now. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay? So hopefully that does something. Of course it does. Power of prayer is huge. They want to make us embarrassed of it. They want to make us think that the power of prayer is just, thoughts and prayers. It's huge. Remember, we're in a Mandela-affected spiritual world. This is a spiritual battle. So why wouldn't prayers be helpful? I mean, it's just common sense. So, okay. Look at that, Dale. Yeah, exactly. He was in a bad car wreck 12 years, 3 months ago in the ICU, and Jesus, Yeshua, came to his life. See? And that's what happened to a lot of people that I know. They found Jesus, and he found me when I was at a really low point. And all I did was pray to him, and boom. And it's nothing special. Anyone can do it. You can do it tonight. Don't get caught up in the religious thing. We're going to discuss that. I'm going to show you how religion is bad, how religion is wrong, and everyone has been corrupted. Where's my guy? Everyone! And hopefully that that had an echo, because it's important. All the religions have been corrupted. So that's why you make your own connection, and everyone can do it, and it's super easy. And I'll go over that too tonight if you want to stick around for that. But look at this dog. Where there's a will, there's a way. Hats off to this dog. This is the biggest stick I've ever seen a dog carry. He dragged this thing out of the ocean, and it just goes on for days. But he doesn't have a problem with it. See, any problem that we have, I feel like if God's with you, you can. He shakes off too. Isn't that great? If God is with you, you can take on anything, no matter how big the problem is. Do you think this dog he couldn't have grabbed this stick? No, he just knew in his heart. It's faith. Look how happy he is. He had the faith that he would be able to get that stick out of the water, however far it went, and carry it around. And that's it. That's the same energy that we need to put towards our faith. That's it. It's so simple to do. I mean, you think he's like studied all kinds of things and all that? No, he just had faith. He believed in himself, and he did it. And don't forget, God spelled backwards is dog. So there's that too. Ooh, we learned something tonight. A very encouraging. Thanks, Dan. I think so. Dan's, how do you say that? Dan's la musique. Do I have another person from France? Yeah, he's a show-off, Chaput. Did you see that, Chaput? There's someone in here that his name is Dans la musique. France. He is, or she. Is he, she, Don? Help me there, Chaput. He lives in the Canadian part of France, but everybody thinks he's from France. So, yeah. Yeah, I'll go over the Catholicism. We'll go tonight. We'll do it. I promise. We'll get there. Okay. You got to give me time. First of all, look at the 1,000 tabs I have. And if I rush through them, there'll be nothing left to talk about. So part of the beauty of this show is to take one thing and make it an hour. So, all right. So let's get rid of that. And then this, you want news, here's news. The world is full of fear. And BlackRock and the World Economic Forum, they're going to crush you with AI and destroy you, and Terminator's coming. There's thousands of channels, well, not thousands, but there's a lot of channels you can watch, and they'll be happy to go over all the negative stuff coming. I choose to say, look, I'll tell you what they're saying, only because there are people in the, quote, real world that don't watch any of these channels, and they're getting scared, and we should know what they're scared of. So maybe, like I do, try to show them how there's nothing to be afraid of. We're watching a movie, we just happen to be in the thing, right? And so here's BlackRock saying, we're being depopulation, right? Didn't Bill Gates say they could do it through, well, you can watch the thing. I can't even mention it and I'll lose whatever. But so they're upset that there's negative growth. Shockingly, nobody knows why, just after the last few years. No idea what could have been introduced to create that. It's a mystery. But they're like, don't worry about it, because we're also creating AI and it'll do all your jobs. So where the rest of the world is like, they took your job. Everyone's upset that AI is taking your job. The New World Order is telling you, don't worry about it. It's a good thing, right? Like that, what was that Twilight Zone with the kid and he wished into the cornfield or whatever? It's a good thing you did that, It's a good thing you ruined all the crops and made it snow. It's a good thing if AI takes over the jobs that suddenly no one can do because they all kick the bucket or whatever, or not having babies, children of men. So there's that. And now you know what people are upset about. Am I going to cover it and say, oh my God, they're coming to take your, no, we're not. Again, read the Bible, because God says in there more than anything, have no fear. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Other than that, have no fear. If God's on your side, nothing can stop you. So, and I just had to show this. And in fact, this is one of the few things I will, no, not there. I'm going to put this link in the chat, which, by the way, so I forgot to tell you all, last show, the chat went away. Why did the chat go away? Because I played I played a piece of video or whatever you want to say from a show I did years ago with Jen and Brian Staveley. And in it, I discussed the shooting of Lee Harvey Oswald by Jack Ruby. And I played the, I'm going to put it over here in Rumble, people. I played the clip that I did on the show way back then. And it had like maybe 10 seconds of live video of, if you haven't seen it, you won't now, but you can find it on there. It's like they're walking him down, and Jack Ruby appears out of nowhere and shoots him, and suddenly a car drives in because they're in a garage. It looks like such a stage you would see on Happy Days. But that 10 seconds of video, they totally took away all monetization of the 3-hour show I did. So the only way you can ask the YouTube warlords to fix it is to edit it. And they decide, and they tell you, if you take this out, we'll think about getting your money back. And so I did. But also, the chat goes away. So what was I doing? Did I put it in both? Oh, I don't think I put it in YouTube. I put it on Rumble, I believe. But anyways, just in case. Yeah, it did look staged, didn't it? It did. It did. Yeah, the part where the car comes in, because of that, I had to get it deleted. So, and yes, you are tardy. Of course, you know that. Was the bus? Did you miss the one bus and you had to catch another one?
I don't feel tardy.
So, God bless you. He shows up late and then he does this. What a wonderful man. Thank you, Connor. Thank you. So, and I keep, you know what? Watch after the show. You can go back to the beginning and watch my little rant on things. It was pretty fun. I thought it was pretty funny. But thank you very much. God bless you. I really appreciate that. What was wrong about the footage? It was owned by whoever didn't want me to play it. That's all I can tell you. It's the same reason I can't play music on this. Because, for instance, I have a video on YouTube. Won a Grammy for it. Just kidding. But I have a video on YouTube of me singing a song I wrote, Elon. And if you haven't watched it, it's really, I think, wonderful to watch. But I put it to Elton John's music, that song, what is it? Leave On, right? And I made it Elon. Wrote my own words and sang it. And they said, okay, it's all the money goes to Elton John. All right, fine. But the problem is, if I even play my video on this live stream, it will lose its monetization for the same reason. And so that's why you won't see, regular music on here, because it's not worth it to me to play that 10-second clip or whatever of a song and then lose the 3 hours that I spend here with you all and lose the $50, or whatever. It's like, I'd rather just do my own music. In fact, I'm going to show you a video or parts of it that I made, a hologram video that I originally used the music from Styx, The Grand Illusion. But then I had to re-edit it and stick in my Ceiling Fan Man theme, which isn't even mine. That was Track Tribe, and it's a free music video. It's just kind of become mine. So, yeah, it stinks. It is, and that's why I tripped it out, and that's why you lose the chat. And so, oh my goodness, everyone's still showing up late. What's going on here? Did everyone miss the first bus and y'all came in the second one? My audience is usually the small bus, but you're late.
I don't feel tardy.
So, and I didn't mean to say it's your small bus. I'm on the small bus. You guys are on the big bus. So, all right. Let's see. And yes, anybody that sees these things in the chat, throw them on your prayers. It's wonderful. So may God bless you and keep you safe. Okay, let's see. Thank you. I'm proud to be on the small bus too. Oh, I see. The short bus got a flat. That's why everyone's late. I get it. Okay, thank you. So let's see. Let's go back. Wait, I can get rid of that tab. That'll help. And I can get rid of that one. And is there anything else in this one I wanted to show? No, that's good for tonight. We already covered that. So we'll get rid of that. That helps. And let's see. Clickety click. We'll go here, 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 and here. Okay. Let's see. What's next? Oh, that's my wife's soap store. Never mind. I put this in the chat like an hour ago. And you're like, why did he do that? Because I think this thing is super cool, made out of paper. Are you watching this, hon? We had our grandkids over, and she and I were making paper frogs and airplanes and stuff. We got to make these throwing stars. Look at this. Boom. And it comes back to you like a boomerang. And he shows you how to do it. It's in fast motion. So you'll have to watch it later and make it yourself. But it looks super easy. Right? So there you go. If you learn nothing else tonight, you'll learn how to make a paper flying star boomerang. So there you go. Okay. What's next? Oh, I guess we should, if we're going to cover that, here we'll go here. Uh-oh. What's happening? Okay. Having issues with the computer. Hold on. Let's see. How do we get that back? Okay. We'll go to this screen. Okay. Let's see. Oh, that wasn't the button. There he is.
This week in scary space news.
So, sent in by another viewer, listener, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's early space news. I want to get out of the way. I don't really have much, honestly, Joy. But these are both pictures by NASA. So what's the actual shape of the size of the Earth in America and all that? Because, on this ball, it takes up quite a bit of space. And on this ball, it's way smaller. And they're both official photographs of NASA. So I guess you just choose your favorite. Is that how that works? But don't worry, space is real, and that's a real photo or painting. You should check out my channel. I did an interview with Matt Powerland. He was the first guy. He was like photo or painting, and he proved that we can't tell the difference. And so you get rid of that. And how about this one? I keep telling people that we're in the little season. Where's that guy? The little season of Satan.
That makes no sense.
That one, the little season of Satan.
Pizza.
Right? And they prove it all the time. Like, I don't see how people can't see it at this point. They prove it all the time. Here's an article. This, of course, is an older article, but it's resurfacing because everyone's talking about the solar minimum, which was discussed a long time ago. They were going to do this. This, like I said, is at least 2 years old, this article, but came back around. Why? Researchers launched a solar geoengineering test flight into the UK. And when you scroll down, what was it called? It's here, let's make this larger. The stratospheric aerosol transport nucleation, or Satan. Like, come on, they could have done any other acronym. They could have 1,000 different ways they could have said this. But they want you to see it. That's part of this whole deception thing. We have free will. And if we see this going on and we choose to ignore it or discount it, it's like, it's just a coincidence. They had no idea it was going to spill out Satan. Well, then we've given our free will away. We've given our consent, right? I was talking to somebody just today that, like, you want to download something or you want to own your iPhone and you want to use it. All of a sudden, they've updated their laws to iPhone, and it's scrolling of page to page to page in the tiniest little writing you've ever seen, and there's hundreds and hundreds, it seems like, pages, and no one reads it. They just say, I want to use my iPhone, right? and they hit accept. And it's the same thing. If you see all these things and you just discount it to coincidence, then you've given your consent. And then the stratospheric aerosol transport nucleation creature can go after you. That's how this all works. So that's how this all works. Yeah. What was it? What did you say? Kate kissed the ground and she liked it. So yeah, it's funny. Yeah, so that's what all this is. It's just hidden in plain sight again, just to let you know. And why is this even important? Because then the other subject that I talk a lot about is this. Oh no, wait, that's my wife's soap store. Is this melt that we see everywhere, and these giant pillars and things in the middle of nowhere for no reason. Oh, hey Ryan. Hey, Ryan's in here tonight. If you can find Sarah, we'll definitely get Sarah on the screen for you, Ryan, if we can find her. But yeah, it's everywhere. It's this melt. Like, and people go, oh, you can't melt brick into rock. Okay. Well, first of all, you can't explain these like half brick, half rock constructions that they have all over the world. Oh, you already did it? See that, Ryan? You're still here just for you. Special delivery. There she is. Get them all, Sarah. Did you get that one in the back? You get that one too. Yeah. Was that Algo that said that? She goes, steal everyone's souls. Right, honey? Is that what you're gonna do? You don't fight anymore. She used to fight karate with me, but she's on, I don't know. What are you, just camera shy, or you just don't feel like fighting anymore? She says she's a lover now, not a fighter, I guess. Oh, there she goes. That's all you get, but you got that. She's getting so big. So she is pretty, right? Yeah, the eyes, right? The eyes get you, Shampoo. So, okay. Okay. What are we talking about? She looks mad. My wife's watching now going, oh, she looked like she enjoyed herself that much. Okay, so let's get back into this. What's this? Oh, wait, that's my wife's soap store. Sorry. We were doing this. We were having a discussion of no one builds like this. So if we can agree that no one's building like this, or if you think someone builds like this, I'd like to see your explanation as to why. And if we all agree that it didn't get built like this, then I'd like to hear your explanation as to why this is happening, why there's bricks inside this, next to that. Like, it's so chaotic. It's so chaotic. And you can even see some kind of design in here, right? And so my explanation is we're seeing a sign of God's judgment, as he told us in the Bible. There was when Jesus comes back and he comes with fire. And if that's not the case, there's multiple sections where he talks about just with his words, he can melt buildings like wax. And so my reasoning is this is a sign of God's judgment, and things melted in the way he said would happen. If you don't agree with that, I'd love to hear your theory on why they built this way with these big blocks and then whatever this nonsense is, and then more bricks, and why is it all dark and burned? You know, I'd love to hear those theories. You never hear them. They just crap on our theories when Jen talks about pockets of survival and Meltology 101. They like to crap on that, and they don't want us to mention that it's, God's judgment. Look at this. This is a parking garage. So the best way to do that is to like carve it right out of the mountain, I guess, right? So there's that. But they don't want us to mention that it's God's judgment. They call it whatever they want to call it, the XYZ thing. But they don't explain how it happened or why it happened. They don't explain it. Even the mud floods. Like, what is that? It's either left over from God's flood, in the days of Noah, or it's some kind of liquefaction. But again, they don't describe how it happens. They don't describe who did it or how often it happened, or because we don't know. We're living on the remnants of an old world and somewhat destroyed world. None of us were ever around to see and be able to acknowledge how this was created. You want to tell by their story, or his story, as Jen calls it, where they carved this out. Like, so I guess the inside of this rock is this color, and then they spent all this time carving out some temple to bury people in, and they lived in huts, or this. The best way to build this castle was on this like protruding rocks, and then whatever this stuff is, and right? That's what they want you to believe. Or that. Like, what's the point of going way out in the middle of this mountain and carving just that? Or the whole thing was the building. And some reason, this is in Petra. It's one of Jen's favorite, Shapu's favorite places to go. The whole thing was the building. And that's the pocket of survival, right? But the sign maker is going to say, no, there's a group of people that hiked up here and carved these tombs for their ancestors, because it took them 40 years to do it. Probably most of them would be dead by the time they finished carving. They could do 2 for 1 and stick them in the same place. Meanwhile, on the other side of the planet, or whatever, peasants are building this with hand tools and donkeys. No, the music. We can't build this today. And peasants with hand tools and chisels and donkeys are building this. And nowadays, they always put like a crane or scaffolding and stuff like they're, doing something. They're not doing anything. Yeah. I used to fight with a flat earther. They just say, oh, no, donkeys brought all these stones in. It's quite possible. Okay, good. Whatever. You believe that. Go ahead. You also, a lot of them believe they're back on the ball. Who cares? Moving on. Stay in my lane. Here's my lane. Explain this. The best way to build this bridge was to suddenly throw cement in here? Or are you going to say that this fell down and they fixed it? Again, they never have an explanation. People that don't want to accept that this is a sign of God's judgment. They don't. So until they can come up with an explanation, I present mine. I present to you a ridiculous way to build a house, unless you're Fred Flintstone, right? It's like, what is this thing over here? And then suddenly there's like bricks. And then this looks totally melted to me. I mean, once you start seeing things as being melted, I don't see how you can't. And if it's weather, it's millions of years, because the same people believe in evolution, dinosaurs. Oh, it's millions of years, and the weather and water and whatever wash this over. Well, what about this? This didn't get affected. Yeah. How about this one? This column is made of brick. This column is made of only a little brick, and the rest, here's a little more. So what's the explanation? My explanation, as others, is this got melted somehow from bottom to top to bottom, a combination of both, or just got spoken and melted. We don't know. We don't know the temperature of fervent heat. We didn't see these buildings get ruined. We don't know when it happened, how it happened, or who did it. We'll never know. But what we can take away is we've been lied to. This isn't the way you build. Would they run out of bricks, so they just slapped on cement? But then why would they do it in certain areas, leave brick in the middle and the top? I mean, it doesn't take much. All you have to do is just stare at this, and you'll start to see it. You'll start to see it everywhere. Does that look like that's the way that was built? It looks melted. Can you see that? It's melted. Melting like wax. Exactly, KK. That's what God says. Oh, don't bring up God and that he did it. Oh, really? Look at this. Let's see, make this smaller. Here is the Acropolis of Athens in Greece. And here it is in 2021. See, they've like started some construction. It looks like. Well, maybe not. They like putting up those, like, what do you call it? Scaffolding and stuff to make it look like they're doing something. So this thing's missing. But this stuff stays around for eons, whatever, for centuries, for multiple generations to see. Why? So God says, hey, I'm going to leave this as an example of what can happen if you walk away from God and you start following whatever. This judgment happened. And if you don't believe it happened, well, you better watch out, because it's probably going to happen again. And if you don't have this connection with God, you're in for some times. You know, I understand. I believe this was signs of the original Great Tribulation. And again, I'm not here to argue that. Some people think we're heading towards it. I get it. I felt that way too. It's just, you know, recently in the last year, well, I do have a show with Steve and Jen that we talked about this. And the fact that I feel that this is the second version, because if we've passed Revelation and Jesus' reign on earth, then Satan's let loose for a little season. Pizza. Used to be short season, but that's another subject. And why can't we be those people? Like, everyone's obsessed that we're the people that are at Revelation. But no one talks about the end of the book. There's people that Satan goes and deceives for a little season at the very end before the final judgment. As Jerry Seinfeld would say, who are these people? Why can't we be those people? So in my mind, at least for right now, that's who I feel we are. And so why do I see all these signs of things that don't make sense unless you realize that they were melted? It's because God wants us to know it happened, and probably more than once, because there's multiple verses in the Bible where he talks about cities that he destroyed, besides Sodom and Gomorrah, because he wants us to know that it happened so that we don't let it happen again. Or if, unlike the city of, where did Jonah go? Minerva, I think, something like that. He sends a guy, hey, you got to go to the city and tell them judgment's coming if they don't repent. And he's like, okay, sure, no problem. And then he goes the opposite way, because he's like, they know me there and they're all going to think I'm crazy, right? And so he goes the opposite way. He gets on a boat and everyone's about to die because the boat's about to be tipped over and everyone's dead. And so they did this thing back in those days, apparently. They would cast lots, and somehow, magically, I don't know, it would tell them, like, what's going on. And so they figured out it was Jonah was the reason they were all in trouble. And so they're like, what'd you do? And he said, you guys got to toss me over the side because I disobeyed God. He told me to go left and I went right. And they're like, what have you done? You brought this on us. Let's get him to shore. But they couldn't make it to shore. Who wants to throw a guy in the middle of the ocean, right? I mean, you got to be completely heartless to do that. But it was either that or they were going to die. So he convinces them, toss him over the side. So he tossed him over the side. Then the Mandela effect happened. And instead of being swallowed by a giant whale, it's now a big fish. Whatever. It's still the same story. Just it changed a bit. God, this Mandela effect is hard to keep up with. Because they tell you a whale's not a fish. It's always been the story of Jonah and the whale. But it's never been the story of Jonah and the whale. It's Jonah and the big fish. In any case, he gets swallowed up by some sea creature. Maybe it was the Capricorn goat. I don't know at this point. Maybe next week it'll be that. He gets swallowed by the fish, the whale, the Capricorn. And he's in the belly 3 days. And finally he realizes, well, this sucks. And he repents, says, all right, I'll go do what you said. And so the whale spits him out. I'm sure he smelled disgusting after that. And he goes into town like he was told. This is how big these towns are. So when you look at these pictures and we say that mountain is a melted building. It's because these towns went on for days. It said it was a 3-day walk for him to go through the entire town. And, he's going around going, judgment's coming, whatever he said. Doesn't really say what he says. And then what happens? He leaves and he goes and he sits on the side of this hill, kind of, I'm not going to rub the hands. It's not a good look for people like me, but he rubs his hands waiting for the destruction to come. What happens? They listened. It's like one of the first times in the Bible they actually listened. And so they repent and they stop doing all the horrible things they were doing and they find God again. So then what happens? As promised, God says, good. I won't, because God is good all the time, every day. And he's patient and loving more than anything. And so what does he say? Hey, you guys repented? We're done. We're done here. I'm with you, and I'm not going to do the thing that I said I was going to do. Well, here's Jonah sitting up on the hill getting ticked off. He kept waiting for the judgment to happen. It didn't happen. And, like he walked through, think about that. You walk through town and say God's judgments are coming, and then it doesn't happen. I mean, it's just like Noah. He told people for how many years? There's a flood coming. It's going to be from the sky and the earth, and it never rained apparently before that. He thought he was crazy. Any case, we're way off topic, or actually on the topic, but what was the topic? Let me see. Let me look at my tabs. Oh, we're talking about God's judgment. And so he left all these things like this. Oh, wait, that's my wife's soap store. Here, like this, as a remnant, so we could see it, that it happened, and we can repent. And of course, they don't want you to, I'm about to sneeze, they don't want you to talk about, God's judgment when you talk about the melt. And yet you can find these old pictures. Like other people believed in it, apparently, a long time ago. So there's that. But yeah, that's why he does this. He allows us to see this so we can know what happened and repent. It's not that big of a deal to do that, Everyone's sinful. I mean, that's just the nature of us. God says that's the nature of us. From the very first man. That's the way it has been. And so what's the takeaway? They say that sin was brought into the world by the first man, and sin's also taken out of the world by Jesus, by a single man. And so once you realize that it's real and the gift that he gave us, it takes away all the fear and puts that joy in your heart that people that they call Christians feel. That's all I can tell you. I'm not going to beat you over the head on it. Now, I might discuss it on this channel because you know what? It's my channel. And the whole reason I've ever done this channel was to present this message. Because I see God's judgment on these most likely pagan symbol buildings and stuff. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. How'd they climb up there and carve that with chisels and stuff? Come on. And the fact that it's burnt and stuff is, that's just the color of the rock when you carve it. Really? All right. You're entitled to your opinion. The donkeys brought up these things, right? Oh, I guess that's all of them. But we'll continue on. This is the other thing. So part of what tells me that we're in this little season, pizza, is because a lot of weird stuff's happening. God said there will be signs in the sky and the stars and stuff. We're just supposed to look for it. This gal's talking about the end times moon. And just like she remembers, the moon is in these cycles, okay? There's no cycle of the moon that looks like a Cheshire cat. Excuse me. There's never been a moon phase. I'm going to sneeze again. It's enough already. I'm not catching them COVIDs. Okay. There's never been, at least in my timeline, a Cheshire cat moon, right? And so a couple things are happening. This is happening, which also looks like devil's horns. And we've seen that. I know people in my chat have seen it. Oh, thank you, Val. God bless you. Thanks. Gesundheit. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Oh, I need a tissue. I hate to do this when I'm screen sharing, but I can't get to the mute button. So. Okay. This is new. I was going through school in my entire life. Those are the phases of the moon. Not a single one of them was upside down. Yeah, mostly mad here. Right. Yeah, that's another one. Ryan says, it used to be the Cheshire Cat would, I forgot, you're right. That's one. He used to say we're all mad here, and now it says mostly everyone is mad here. So that even changed. But yeah, so this is now happening. And then she discusses in her video, and we've seen this here. I can't prove it to you, but we've seen it. My wife's here has seen it. You get a moon that looks like that
one day, and this one the following day.
That has anyone had that experience too? Because we have. We're like, wait, what happened? Like so far, how many nights has it been, Hunchies, in the past? How many nights has it been? We've had like no moon here. It's been so dark outside. It seems like it's been at least a week. So the moon's doing weird things, and the fact that it's out all the time during the day. Again, people always say, "Oh, well, I've always remembered it that way." Good for you. But for me, the moon was out at night and the sun was out at day. Now I see it all the time. Sometimes it's sunny, but the moon's out, and haven't seen the sun yet. It's nuts. They're in the same sky, and they don't match up to what the shadow's supposed to be of the earth. But they're both out there. And if you haven't seen it, just start looking at the skies. God tells you to do that. But yeah. Let's see. No, there you go. See, Matt, listen to this, Jeannie. Mad Fab said they've had a full moon for 4 days, and we've had no moon. So, yeah, I don't know. Are they creating new or I don't know what's going on. Nobody can explain it, but some weird stuff's happening. Weird stuff. Weird. Does anybody else have a problem saying weird now after that Snow White lady? She has that video where she's like, oh, we don't have a prince because we don't want a guy walking around stalking a woman and then like attacking her unconsciously. That's a little weird. And she goes, weird. Maybe I'm sharing too much. But we can't help do that now. I don't know. Is the Matrix breaking down? Yeah, I guess so. Because we've had this. We've had the moon look like he says, like this, and then like that the next.
And this one the following day.
Yeah, so we've seen that. But anyways, maybe it's just the Matrix breaking down. And then she goes over Enoch. In those days, the moon will change its order and not appear in its proper time. And that's what's totally happening. It's all over the place. It makes sense. And I like the book of Enoch. I know God mentions it in the Bible, but it's been taken out since, we found the Bible or was given to us. But it's mentioned in here that it's going to change. And again, I believe it's like the Mandela effect. It's just another sign of the times that we're in. Does that make me afraid of the times we're in? Absolutely not. When I first woke up, it did. I'll be perfectly honest with you, it did. I've described it many times, the Mandela effect. It rocked my world. And then finding out I'm in end times, at least that's where I believe, or somewhere in the back of this book. And the fact that the book is real, that was another one that blew me away. But once I made that connection, I realized God's in charge of it all. It takes that fear away. And it's a wonderful thing. And I want everyone to experience it and do it at your own pace. But please get on board. It's such a wonderful thing to experience. What does this guy say?
It's rising, right? And then literally maybe 40 minutes later, tell me why the moon's already setting. Look what the moon has been doing. Y'all see, look how creepy that is.
He even also gives a verse from 2nd Esdras. The moon shall be confounded or disorderly. The moon shall be troubled. I would say seeing the moon below you while you're flying definitely counts as being troubled.
I would agree with that.
Enoch really puts emphasis on the moon bringing about all the signs of the year, and the moon becomes a sign of the seasons and a sign of the years.
Which would put you in, quote, the little season, right? So, look at this one. And I've seen this too.
I would say that the moon is a very important celestial indicator that Jesus is coming back. Most people...
Has anyone else seen that? The moon turning like that? Yeah.
Jesus is coming back. Most people don't even realize that there's signs outside of the blood moons that everybody's waiting for. Look up, you guys. Our redemption is drawing very, very near.
So, good stuff there. Anybody wants that one, I'll grab that and throw that in the chat. Oh, hi. Let's see. She wanted to say hi. Okay, clickety click. There it is on YouTube. And for all my lovely 7 people over on Rockfin, thank you very much. Not Rumble. Sorry, Rumble. To all my lovely Rumble people, thank you for being over there, including Kay, Melanie, Dennis, and Americanata. And Nasto Pink. So yeah. Oh, we're going to talk about the Pope. Yeah. Oh, and where'd he go? Yeah, Rain and Pain. Book is legit, right? And I wasn't a believer in it. Trust me, I wasn't. But I don't know how you can't read it and go, oh my God. The problem is nobody's reading it. That's the problem. Oh no, it's a religious thing. It's going to get you caught up in. Whatever, some religious dogma. No, just read it. So, oh, Susie's going. Wait, we should wait. We'll wait for you, Susie. Oh shoot. Okay. Nice to meet you. Is that towards me? It's nice to meet you too. Okay. Okay, what are we doing? How do you say it? American Akita. Okay, okay, all right, got it. Okay, what's next? Where are we? Go clickety click. All right, let's go back into the tabs. Clickety click. Here and here and here. Okay. Well, that's my wife's soap store. Never mind. We covered that. How about this rabbit hole? Been down this one yet? And I've discussed this. You want to talk about a made-up person, whatever he was. I mean, try to find actual photos of Abraham Lincoln. Like, they're really tough. They're mostly drawings. And remember what I always tell you about cartoons. Be wary of cartoons, like satellites are a cartoon, and some little tiny bugs that we won't discuss on here. Those are cartoons. And Abraham Lincoln mostly is a cartoon. So, and maybe he had that head, and that's why he had to wear that stupid hat if he was real. I don't know. Abe Lincoln meets Joe Biden. That's funny. Oh yeah, the vampire hunter, right? They even make fun of it, make him a vampire hunter in a movie. He probably never existed. Well, I also have a theory that these were like the caricatures of the little G's, the gods of the day. Because there's that one famous one I've shown it. We actually got to see it. Here, I'll show you. It's that George Washington one. And George. It's the George, it's so funny. Like, you wonder if the algorithm, how well they know me. How many other people are typing in George Washington bafflement statue, right? But man, this thing's fascinating. And don't forget his what do you call it? His tombstone or whatever. It says Freemason and then first president. you know, I'm sure that's just another coincidence. So look at him here. Oh, wait, that's my wife's soap store. Here. This thing's fascinating. I could do an entire show, I think, on this and how creepy this George Washington statue. First of all, he's doing the as above, so below bafflement pose. 100%. No question. Second of all, he's got like these demon eyes, right? And if you watch Supernatural at all before they got all stupid and made it so it was a God's fault and the devil and his son and Aleister Crowley saved the world, whatever, stupid. I stopped watching it. But in any case, they taught me that like demon eyes, they do this. And so you got as above, so below demon eyes. And then if that wasn't enough, I found this. This is crazy to me and nobody can explain it. Let me make this a little smaller. Look at his leg. That makes no sense, as that guy says. If his knee, his leg goes to here, so his knee's here, somewhere. His knee has to be somewhere. And then what is this? At his ankle, and this thing extends out like, what is, I don't know, like I don't know how many feet that is, but it's just weird. And, whatever the line symbolism and stuff is. But he's totally doing the bafflement pose. And so my theory is this. I think there was and again, I always, no, it's not Photoshop. I saw this. I actually have a picture of it I took. I could find it, but it's not. And my theory is this. I grew up with my handlers of TV and movies. And there's a Twilight Zone episode where these astronauts land. He was a size 33 clown foot. Yeah, he does need a mani pedi probably. But they land on a planet where they were gigantic to the people that live there. And one of them makes the little people build a giant statue in his honor because he's a god. He could crush them and destroy everything they have with just stomping on it. And so I kind of feel that was this. I think Abraham Lincoln and George Washington, those are our, quote, founding fathers that founded this country, 1776, which a lot of people, if you look at the Statue of Liberty, it's the same one as Lucifer breaking his chain on his foot. I've covered it. Everyone's covered it. If this reset of Saints' Little Season started around then, they made them in those days or before build these statues of them as gods. That's why Mount Rushmore has how many heads are on there, but those are them. At least some of them, I believe, just like in that TV show. What do I know? I know nothing. None of us know anything. Where's my guy? There are no experts.
There are no experts.
Yeah, it was like Gulliver's. Why am I having trouble with that? I tell you, Gulliver's Travels, right? It's like that. So Outer Limits had one too. Of course they did, right? So yeah, that's what I think. And statues like this kind of steer me in the way thinking I might be correct on this. So, all right, what's next? Or this, not to make you like gag on your whatever you're eating, but what is the fact? Didn't the X-Files do something on the like a worm in the eye, the black goo, and all that stuff? It's just another coincidence. These leaders or whatever they are have this weird thing going on in their eyes, right? I know. I'm sorry. I'll get rid of it. People are getting grossed out. Let me go with something else. But don't worry, because there's people that are on your side, including Tucker Carlson. And his interview was that Conor McGregor, whatever, the boxer, I think he is. So nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Not the fact that there's the Masonic emblem here, the two pillars, these are $100 bills too, by the way. And then the Masonic tiles. It matches up exactly like a lodge, filmed in a lodge. Nothing to see here. The fact that he's doing Masonic handshakes, but it's all coincidence. And you shouldn't talk about this stuff, right? Yeah. Oh, but I have friends and relatives that are Masons. fine. But on the local level, they're not these guys. This is the 33rd degree, and that's where it goes satanic. Maybe sooner than that. I don't know how it works. I'm not a member, proud not being a member, and I'll never, I'll do research on what other people have seen. So just see saying it's called controlled opposition for a reason. Rather than fight it, they put people in there to make you think that they're on your side, and then they steer the narrative where they want. So in that awkward moment when you have to save your God because it cannot save itself, therefore cannot save you either, right? That's the thing. There's that wonderful story about Abraham, and he goes to his dad's house, and his dad makes these things. That's his living, and he has an entire room of them. And so he goes and he tells his mom, hey, make me this wonderful meal. And he takes it in there and he puts it in front of the gods and tells them to eat it. And not a single one of them come to life to eat it. I think he does at least 2 or 3 more times. Nothing happens. So then what does he do? He picks up the big stick, I think it is, and he smashes every other idol except the biggest one at the front of the back of the room. And he takes the stick and sticks it in his hand. And of course, his dad comes running. He's like, what have you done? What have you done? And he's like, what do you mean? I didn't do it. I'll tell you what happened. See that savory meat? I brought, sorry, was that the shirt? Hang on a second. We'll talk about the shirt. I have a merchandise store. I think it's in there, but I think I got this one from Shapu. He drew this. I'll figure it out. But so he says to him, he's like, what'd you do? He's like, I didn't do it. I'll tell you what happened. We made this savory meat or whatever for the gods, and all of them reached for it before the whoever the biggest god is. He was supposed to get the first share, and so he got so mad he grabbed that stick and he killed destroyed all the other idols. And so his dad is like so mad at him. He's like, you're lying. He's like, there's no way that thing picked up this stick and did what you said. And he goes, well, then why, like these people are marching them around, why are you praying to this? And I think he breaks that one, and then he goes on the run because, he wanted to get him. There's a lot of more stories that are even what happens after that is really cool. But in any case, it's the same thing. That's why I don't buy into religion. Your spiritual connection to God happens without religion. Religion gets you caught up in all this nonsense. So, or this nonsense. We just had Easter go by. Okay, wait. I'm going to have to stop for a second. Stop my camera and my mic and blow my nose. People are like, wow, that took a while. Well, I'm part of the tribe. My nose is big. It's not that big. It's bigger than some, smaller than others. My hair. Okay. Let's go back into this. Clickety click. Go here and here and here, here and here. So we had Easter go by, and this is allegedly. Hey, hon, can I get more coffee when you can? Thank you. A 500-year-old Easter tradition in Florence where they light whatever this fireworks are, and it shoots out like a bird across from east to west, I guess, or it goes east and smashes it like right out of Mulan. Didn't they do this in Mulan? And it smashes into that thing, and somehow it does a return flight and comes back. Can you imagine seeing this live? It'd probably be pretty cool. And goes back into the thing. Of course, most of these churches burned down because a donkey kicked over a lantern. So it seems pretty dangerous to do this for 500 years. But, but yeah. This is organized religions. Oh, we were going to discuss the Pope. Okay. So for those of you that might have been under a rock, not Iran, but Iraq, the Pope, the character of the Pope died again, or did, depending on who you listen to. Oh, thanks. Now, the Q people will tell you that the Pope died a long time ago, and they've just been waiting to have him. Well, go get him. Go help him. He's just been waiting for Easter to come around to announce it. I don't know. I don't get caught up in that minutia. But the character of Pope Francis passed away. And I find it interesting. So they have a list of possible candidates to be elected. And the 3.3 million views, there's their magic number again. The first thing you see on the screen is the Netflix version of the Pope, right? Robert Cardinal Sarah. And I also find it funny because there's like, again, I'm not an end times kind of person as far as the channels that discuss, oh, that's a sign, that's other than what I just did. But like Nostradamus's predictions and the whole discussion of there's a thing called the Black Pope. It's not because, the skin color. It's a whole other thing. But I just find it funny. This is the headline, of course, always, right? And the fact that Nostradamus, which is another made-up thing, I used to listen to this stuff too. In the 16th century, predicted the Pope's death, and this is the last Pope. It's a book of prophecy. You can read all this stuff if you want. But they, it's the end times coming because this fake person back in 1600s predicted it and whatever. I mean, they don't even know what the Voynich manuscripts are, right? Right, Voy, if you're listening. He's got great hair. But the original Voynich man, can't even decipher him. Whatever. And the last words of Pope Francis was it thank you to his nurse, which was nice. I mean, nurses are definitely not respected. Hi, Bill. Nurses are not respected, trust me. But the last words were thank you to his nurse. No, his actual last words were, thank you for bringing me back to the square. Is that the square and compass? I mean, really? The square. So, and they're referring, he says, to a surprise appearance that didn't even look like him at Easter time. Like these popes, none of them look the same. And how far along did he disappear? Because I have this video that I did. Oh no, he did it with a gal named Rose. She's a shit, whatever. I like Rose, and we did this discussion. This says a year ago, but this is a clip from a live show I did with her, like, I don't know, whatever this was, 5 years ago, where I was discussing. Yeah. This is the one that was supposed to have the Grand Illusion by Styx. You'd understand it better. But I was discussing holograms. This is quote unquote real. So this phasing in is TV movie magic, right? But this thing phasing in is real. You can still find this. Go look this up on the ESA Space Agency, where she's doing a class with kids. And this toy, what do you call it? Not transitions. What is that called? Transports, right? From Star Trek. It transports into the room, and then she interacts with it. And no one cares, right? This is quote unquote real. Live, this happened. And no one cares that she's interacting with that. Then there was this situation where Biden's talking and his hand goes through the microphone, and you can totally tell it's green screen. I think it's yeah. And they show you in these Illuminati cards. It's the identical thing. They have to. It's part of this way this whole thing works. They have to show you they're deceiving you, and we have to accept it. And then you end up not knowing what's real anymore. You can't tell reality from fiction. And as Captain Kirk, Bill Shatner said, there is no difference between science and science fiction. And so as the technology gets to the point where our human eyes will never be able to distinguish the two, you get something like this. This is from the live stream I did. Now, I was commenting because there's a guy that shows up past this. He's like gigantic. And everyone was making a comment of this clip. Well, whoever was, because of the giant dude. But I'm watching it, and I saw something different. And that's why it's in my hologram video. Let's see.
Look, no shadow. Everybody else has a shadow.
CFM, you found something very...
That's the guy they were all discussing. Look at the size of that guy. Because Trump's supposed to be, what, 6'2" or something? So what is this guy? 7 foot or whatever? I mean, Nephilim blood for sure. But yeah. But I found something different. He has no shadow, and then it gets worse.
Compelling here.
Where is it?
Wait, I look young back then? I don't look young now? How dare you?
Let me go back.
Oh my goodness.
Where's this shadow? So anybody that wants to say that it's something else, then tell me. I analyze it and let me know, because I'm having trouble. And look, his head phased out. Look at that.
That dude's not there.
See that? So you tell me what's going on.
The only logical explanation is that this is technology and that this doesn't go by the laws of lighting, and you can just compare it to the rest of the people. It doesn't mean he's like a demon entity. It just means that he wasn't there.
He wasn't at this particular walkthrough. It was fake. I mean, whatever. Somebody explain it to me if I'm wrong. But why does his head phase out like the NASA people? That leg's missing. Doesn't even look like he has feet, actually. There's no head. There's no leg. And there's no feet. But other than that, it's just normal, right?
Totally normal. And that guy's not there. That microphone, all these people, whatever. I don't know how this works, but he's not there. Why am I bringing this video up? Because check this out. I used to watch. If some of the chat remembers who this guy is, I totally forgot, and I apologize. But I used a clip from his show because it's fascinating. This goes all the way back to the Pope. So now you'll understand. Does anybody remember who this is? Do you remember who this is, Jeannie? No. But this is, it's during that. So it had to have been, well, here you go. Yeah. 2020. So 5 years ago. Do you remember his name? I don't. No. Maybe somebody will. But yeah, why am I bringing this all up? Well, now I understand. Look at the Pope.
Oof, he's gone. Did you see that? And okay, I'm going to show you something. So first frame right there. So he's there. Next frame, he's at 50% opacity. And then the next frame, click, he's gone.
Oh. This is a good one. His head phases out as he walks by the wall. I can't explain this technology. All I'm telling you is it's a show and we're being lied to. I mean, they proved that he did a lot of his talks from a White House desk that was a movie set. The Trump administration showed it. Again, they have to let you know. And there's the one where Mark Zuckerberg's head phases out. Because they're using a green screen. It's the same reason I have that weird thing behind me, the satellite picture. That's not a real satellite behind me, just so you know. And they have entire rooms where they have people like interacting with, dinosaurs. And of course, they got to throw it all in there. You got dinosaurs. I think they have space people in this. Yeah. Because they want you to believe all the same lies. So there you go. You can find that on my channel. It's called The Grand Delusion. For some reason, it only has 760 views because whatever. Okay. Let's get back to reality. Like this. This is an Easter celebration, and you're telling me that the Catholic Church is not compromised. Really? This looks normal to people? Are you kidding me? And then if that's not enough, I'm not going to bore you with the whole thing. How about the fact that their cloaks, the crosses are upside down? And you're going to say, oh, well, I know why. It's because of St. Peter. He denied Christ. That's why there's the cock crowing in here, right? And he wanted to not be crucified like Jesus. He was crucified upside down. Fine. That's a great narrative, and it all fits and it's true. But it doesn't explain this. This looks like a complete satanic ritual. If I walked in on this, there's no way I would think that Jesus Christ lived in this church. Absolutely not. You think he'd want you walking around doing this? Really? And you think he'd want you to symbolize the upside down cross forever? No. As I always say, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Just like this. I looked this up. I couldn't believe my eyes. This gal wrote, my favorite new factoid is that they hit the dead popes on the head 3 times with a special dead pope hammer to ensure they're in fact dead. Oh, but then readers add context. Well, no, it's more of a ritual now. They really don't smash them in the head that hard. Whatever. The fact that they've ever done this. I mean, is it like the vampire hunters? Do we have to make sure, we hope he's not just mostly dead. We are sincerely dead. How's that go on the original Wizard of Oz that actually had the little people? Yeah. But the fact that they smash him on the head for reals, and then don't get me started on the whole idea. It's a silver hammer. Do I have any Beatles fans in the audience? Bang Bang Maxwell's silver hammer came down upon his head. I mean, those are some of my favorite handlers. Of course, that's what they're talking about. Oh, I like to see what he did there. Bonk, bonk. Yeah, I get it. But yeah, isn't it making sure he doesn't come back as a zombie? 100%. That's the way I see it now. And if you think I'm not right on this, then explain this. Do you know they put him in 3 coffins and one of them's lead? I didn't know all this stuff. Readers added context. Just because he's in a lead coffin doesn't mean he's a vampire or a zombie. Whatever. They still hit him on the head with a silver hammer 3 times, and they bury him not just 1, not just 2, but 3. 3 coffins in 1. And one of them's made of lead. Nothing to see here, folks. Just a normal day at the Vatican. You people, wake up. All the religions have been compromised at the top, right? Oh, he's out of his mind, really? And you know that they put the Pope underneath a bunch of pyramids, right? And this probably says New World Order. Who knows? They put him there, and they got the clown outfits, right? That's his personal guards. They put him under pyramids. They hit him on the head 3 times with a silver hammer, put him eventually into 3 coffins. One of them, make sure it's lead. And then they put him under these pyramids. The question is, where's all the gold, right? Do they just raid the Vatican? You know how much gold the Vatican has? As they go around saying, oh, they do so much for the good of the world and the poor. They don't do squat. They don't do squat for the population. You think that we have poverty and world hunger and all that? Then why are they hoarding all this and putting it in all these things so we can walk around and go, oh, wow, that's a lot of beautiful gold in this church. Now let's go to dinner and, not have any money to buy food, right? No. And the fact that when you look it up, I thought this was funny. AI answers everything now. Does the Vatican possess gold? Oh, yeah. The Vatican possesses gold, but the total amount is not precisely known. Sure. Meanwhile, Fort Knox, wasn't Doge and his dog supposed to go to Fort Knox and see how much gold was there? And he was going to do it live, like Geraldo Rivera did with the Al Capone thing. nobody knows what I'm talking about anymore because my audience, maybe you're old enough, I don't know. But they were going to go to Fort Knox and see if there was gold there. They never did. Nobody's gone to jail. The wall's not built. No, he stopped all the tariffs. But hey, trust the plan. Eat your popcorn. It's coming. And eventually we'll look in Fort Knox. Meanwhile, we don't even know how much gold they have. Oh, God bless you, Trish. I got some more memberships. And I see commercial videos in there. Good for you. It's good to see you. Oh, you do know about good. Thank you, Connor, that you know about that. I never know who knows my references. Yeah, this dude, Geraldo Vera, he had this giant mustache, and he started out as a Maury Povich. Again, maybe you don't know who that is. Jerry Springer. How about that? And then he got somewhat famous, whatever. They put in whoever they want. We know how it works. And then he became a real news guy. And then he was going to open up the secret Al Capone vault live on air. And he had this huge audience because there was nothing to watch back then anyways. There's only 3 channels. And we all sat there and watched him crack it open. It took, I don't know, seemed like forever. And he finally cracks it open. It's completely empty. And we really never heard from him again, except maybe on like infomercials or something. I don't know. It's pretty funny story. But I also want to know who's taking care of the crypts, right? The Vatican skulls, often associated with the Capuchin crypt in Rome, a crypt within what? The Church of Satan? No, Santa. Close enough. Maria della Casa della Capoccianiti, right? It's loaded with human bones and skulls. Oh, but that's okay. That's where the pontiff speaks, right? He's the man of God. He's the most holiest man. He runs our Catholic religion, and we need to praise him and all that. Meanwhile, he's speaking on top of bones and skulls. Like you can look at this stuff up. In the podiums, there's actually bones of people in the podiums. Something's beeping. So, yeah. But we don't talk about this, right? So who's going to speak from the Satanic Hall? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is where the Pope used to, or still does, whoever the new one is, speaks from. With what's supposedly Christ rising, but it just looks so demonic. And if you do this correctly in the right lighting, that's Christ's face here, allegedly. But all I see is a serpent head looking to the right, right? You see that? There's an eyeball here, and it's looking at this hand. And it's kind of like those magic posters. Like once you see it, you can't not see that. I said not see. Okay. But you can't not see that. I'll just stop. It's so obvious to me. This is who you believe talks to God. And again, the Catholics are totally doing it wrong. Not only are they praying to saints, which, you're not supposed to do that. But in addition to that, God says, call no man father. You're supposed to call this guy father and the other one's father, right? Only Jesus says, no, if you go into a little box and you talk to these people, they'll absolve you of your sins. Not biblical. In addition to that, God specifically says, don't do as the heathens and repeat the same repetitive prayers with no meaning in your heart. I'd rather you not speak. He says it better, but that's the gist of it. But what do they tell you? Oh, you want to be absolved of the sins you just told me? Say 10 Hail Marys and you're good. None of that's biblical. None of it. The fact that he wears a pagan fish head hat, it's not biblical. The fact that the inside of this auditorium totally looks like a serpent's head. I mean, this is like beginning of my awakening. I was like, holy cow, I had no idea. I mean, it even has fangs here. And that seat I was just showing you, it's right here. This scene here is right in the middle of the fangs of the serpent head. That's where he talks from. Oh, it's just a coincidence. It's really not a serpent's head. Then why the heck does it look like a serpent's head on the inside and on the outside? Not a coincidence? Oh yeah, right, Trish. See, on the outside too. I mean, it's when you start looking and seeing these things, it's really hard not to see these things. It's so easy. And then, of course, we want to honor, right, the 77th Independence Day ceremony of a specific country that was created 77 years ago. But when God talks about the children of this place, he's talking about Jacob. Jacob's name changed to this. And the Bible happened way before 78 years ago when this nation took this symbol that they say is a Star of David. David didn't have a star. Well, what could that possibly be? I don't know. Moving on, a completely different subject, YouTube. Let's read Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them the synagogue of Satan, which say they are a certain people, and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come to worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. See, God says, don't worry. God says these people will come about, but don't worry. He will take care of it. That's what he says. And in Acts, he writes, God turned to them and gave them to worship the host of heaven. And it is written in the book of the prophets, O ye house of that country, have ye offered me the slain beasts and sacrifices by the space of 40 years in the wilderness? And in those days they were called Hebrews, by the way. Yea, ye took up the tabernacle of Moloch and the star of your god Remphan, figures which I made you not to worship, and I'll carry you away to Babylon, or beyond Babylon. So what is the tabernacle of Moloch and the star of Remphan? Oh, look at this. Those look familiar. This is the star of Remphan. See that? They lied to you again. They lied to you. It's not about this country. It's about the people that are running things, that are using these symbols to lie to you. Yeah, here's the pagan fish hat. It's not biblical. That's pagan. That's that fish god, right? There's no coincidences. There's no coincidences. Yeah, same thing. Kabbalah, they're all the same. It's all the same. That's why I tell you, don't get caught up in religion. It's a trap. Here's your Masonic symbols. The Grand Chapter of London, Masonic Lodge in Edinburgh. There's a tombstone. I mean, has nothing to do with what they tell you. It has everything to do with what God tells you. And just be aware of that. That's all. Nothing to fear. Just know who's talking. And the people that live there are completely deceived too. That's how this all works. It's not the people I'm talking about. It's the people that are behind the scenes that we talk about. That's who's doing this to everyone. They've been doing it for our entire lifetime, our parents' lifetime, our grandparents' life. It's been going on since way before any of us were born. So here's the weird thing. Why do I believe in the Bible and Jesus? It's because, let me get rid of these George Washington things. To me, this is a Mandela too. It's kind of like both, two gums in one or whatever. When I was growing up, I was taught this, that Jesus was just a prophet. He was just a man. No big deal, right? As our Jews would say, no big whoop. And so I was taught not to read the Bible, even though I didn't know I was actually reading part of the Bible when I was reading the Torah, because it was another language, so they didn't tell us what we were reading. And then my awakening happened, and I made that connection with God. Again, I did it before I was deep into the Bible, and then I started reading it, and there was so much truth into it. And I kept questioning, like, how could people have always said that, Jesus didn't exist, or none of this happened, or it's folklore, it's fairy tales, it's whatever. And then the Mandela effect happened. Now, again, Some of you might already know everything I'm about to show you. But for me and for my wife, this was all news. The fact that the crown of thorns exists in Notre Dame. In fact, it almost got burned up, and I think they had to move it. That's always existed. Now, why would people question this whole thing about Jesus' crucifixion? You've got the crown of thorns. You've got the weapon, the lance that pierced Christ's side. Did you know we have that? Here is the tunic. When they say they're going to cast lots for his tunic, we have it. That's not even the Shroud of Turin. That's on this list too, Dan. But so far we've gotten the crown of thorns, the thing that pierced his side, his tunic that they cast lots for. Yeah, you're saying it right. That's what I remember. Connor's saying that the weapon that pierced him is the spear of destiny. It's long lost. Well, I say nay, nay. They say it's here, or at least part of it. So here's this tunic they cast lots for. How about this one? This is a Hooray! Anybody still here? Anybody left? Everybody leave? Why am I so small? Huh. Weird. Weird. Okay. Jeez. Well, I don't know how many of you I lost. Sorry about that. You talk too much about God and Jesus, and they don't like it. I mean, I am on the airways of the Prince of this world. So let me refresh this and see if anybody's still here. So, but whoever stuck it out, God bless you. Thanks for sticking it out and being here. You probably got another commercial, but whatever. Gives me another 10 cents in my pocket. Anyways, wow. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for hanging out and still being here. I lost almost 100 people. So hopefully, hey, and if anybody is watching this later, hopefully they just look to see when I come back on the screen. Because if I trim this out, then again, I lose the chat. So, okay. Oh my goodness. I don't even remember where I was. Well, that's funny. You just joined? I think I was, what was I? Hopefully I always hate it. I'm like, am I in a handsome pose when I'm like that? Because I think I was stuck on the screen for the longest time. On my side, I just see spinning wheels. Hey. Oh, it's talking to the dog. It's very hard for me to tell the difference sometimes. Okay. Wow. Well, that was ridiculous. I'm glad you're all back and you stuck around. So thank you. You sticking around, you lost the instruction. Is that what happened? Somebody unplugged the ceiling fan? I think that's what happened. Do I have anything for that? I give my own jokes this. And your jokes. So, okay. But yeah, so I'm back. We're back for however long you want to be back. Oh, you chatted? Oh, okay. Hopefully you all played nice. I like it when everyone plays nice in the chat. So, where'd it go? See, it goes by so fast. Where's this one? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Is that what it is? I kept saying those two words together too soon. You got to put a space or just don't say them at all, I guess. That's what I'll try. It could be, 40. Yeah, it seemed like more than that. But, hey, I'm sure they had somewhere better to go, right? But for me, and those that think like me, he's saying this really slow so he can find his drop. We're here because
I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go.
So there. Someone asked me about now, they're going to, oh, he's shilling again. No, someone in the chat asked about this shirt. We'll have to look. You look on my, if you don't see it in the, what do you call it? In the store, check Shapu's channel. If someone knows that, put it in the chat or email me. What? We'll figure it out. ceilingfanman2020@gmail.com. Email me there and I can help you figure that out if you really want to. But I told you, don't buy one. Okay. Yes, thank you. Nice. Yeah. Said the guy with the channel's named Khan. Love it. Okay. Oh, did you see? I was trying to come in as CFM. But why does it say CFM? Ceiling Fan Man. Yeah, I forget who it was. I did a show with. I think it was Martin Lidke a long time ago. And we did a show together, and people in the chat were saying something to CFM. And he's like, who is this? That was funny. I have many names. You can call me whatever you want. Just don't call me late for dinner. So, okay. Let's see. What's next? Where were we? Oh, I was going over the things that to me, like I said, at least seemed like a Mandela effect. I had no idea that we had this many proofs of Jesus' existence. Oh, no, wait, that's my wife's soap store. It's this one. So to recap, before we get taken down again, They have the crown of thorns. They have parts of the spear that pierced his side. They have the tunic that he wore that they threw lots over. Didn't they get parts of this, or one guy got it that it's all intact? Am I remembering the story? I mean, I don't remember. Anybody here that knows that story more? That did they separate it, or one guy win it? Did they even tell you? I'm not even sure. And here's his face. It's on an imprint from when he was carrying the cross. They got a cloth on his face. I don't know. And then, of course, the Shroud of Turin, which, you know, in my lifetime, it's real, it's fake. 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 You'll never know. We'll never know. It is pretty amazing, though, whatever this thing is. And then, of course, did you know this? They have pieces of the cross. Again, unless Mandela effect, where did all these artifacts come from? So I'm not familiar with them, but they have pieces of the cross that he was crucified on, and they're scattered all over the world. Again, this is news to me. Here's another piece of the true cross in here somewhere, I guess, this thing. Everything's covered in gold and gemstones, you know, because they're helping the poor. So you got that. How about this? Here's the Basilica of Santa Prasseda in Rome, holds a part of the marble pillar where Jesus was tied and scourged. This is all new to me. Yeah, who would have kept these things, right? Right, Connor? How about this one? Here's pieces of the nails that pierced his body in many places, used to forge the Lombard iron crown. It's in there. The nail they put into Jesus. Am I alone in this? Am I alone that all these things just kind of showed up in our timeline? I never heard of any of this. When I was trying to question back in the days that I didn't believe in any of this, and I was like, well, Jesus is just da, da, da. Here's all these things I could have seen and gone, oh, well, maybe this is all true. What happened? Look at all the artifacts we have. Do you think I'm done? Oh, nay, nay. Here's another holy nail. Holy nails. So we have the nails, we have the pillars, we have pieces of the cross, we have his face imprinted on multiple artifacts now. We have his tunic. We have the spear that cut him, or part of it, and we have the thorny crowns. And yet this story didn't exist, right? Jesus was, you know, the whole thing about him dying on the cross, it's all just nonsense. So here's the thing. This is one of the last things I want to show you here. Because, you know, oh, he's getting all religious on us, and I don't want to hear about Jesus and his God. And okay, I get it.
In all the Eastern religions and all the cults and all the world religions,
I didn't ask you to talk yet. Hang on. Let's see. Let's do this a different way. Let me go this way. Maybe this will work better. Clickety click. And then let's see, where is this? It is. Where is this? It's over here. So let's look for. Here it is.
In all the Eastern religions.
Did I do it right? Am I sharing? Probably not. That's the way this works. It's under. Okay, we'll find it. Don't you worry your pretty little heads. We'll figure this out. It's here, and we go down to this. Because I mean, I can keep saying it all different ways, but this gentleman, the way he presents it,
The Eastern religions and all the.
I don't think I can ever explain it better than he does. So I'll let Doug Henning explain it to you.
In all the Eastern religions and all the cults.
You get that one, Connor? That's something that most people don't know who that is.
Eastern religions and all the cults and all the world religions, they always gave some credit to Jesus Christ. The Muslims say that he was a prophet. The Krishnas say that he was an incarnation of the Godhead in his age. Yogananda and all these different Eastern teachers said that he had Christ consciousness. You know, they always use words like Christ consciousness, Christ this, Jesus that. The Buddhists would even say he was a Buddha. You know, he was another incarnation of God like Buddha was. And in all my searchings, I saw that all these people were pointing to Jesus. They're going, well, yeah, Jesus is one of the ways, but we're one of the ways. And they wouldn't all agree on anything except that Jesus was one of the ways. And then I looked into the Bible. I did this all through intellectual reasoning and laid it out on the table and figured it out that if they all gave him credit and he only gave himself credit, and they all agreed on one thing, that he was one of the ways, and he only agreed that he was the only way. So I figured I had no choice but to go with him. And then I started praying to Jesus.
Isn't that perfect? I mean, that sums it up exactly. All these other, religions and their gods, and like I showed you earlier today or tonight, where those people were carrying those idols out from the flood. All those religions, like he just said, better than I am right now, stumbling. They all say that they're one of the ways, but Jesus is a way. And, Jesus tells you he is the way, the truth, and the life. No one gets the Father, without him. And so it's, again, just common sense. You can't look at nature itself and not think that there was some kind of like amazing design to this. I mean, our body is self-healing if we didn't have as much poisons in our life. The fact that I'm even here talking to you and you can hear me talking, I mean, it's an incredible thing, the life that we were given. And so, if anything tonight, I want you to understand, no matter what happens in the fake world that they're trying to scare you, the asteroids are coming to crash into us again, and the planet's heating up or cooling down or both, on and on and on. And the stuff we talked about tonight, AI is coming for your job. It took your job. All of that is the fear of the world. And when you make this connection, and you can do it tonight after the show, go to a room all by yourself. Don't have a phone in there. Don't talk to anyone. I recommend you get on your knees, but you can however you want to, and talk to God and ask if he's real. I'd be shocked if you didn't have the exact experience, or at least a version of what anyone that has quote unquote been saved will experience. Because God says he's at the door. He's knocked. He's just waiting for you to answer, and he'll come in and sup with you. And that means eat in the biblical days. Not like, hey, sup, what's up? Not that. It's he's eating. He's coming into your house because you've allowed him in. And he's waiting for you. That's it. And so you make that connection, and then you go, oh my God, all the things that weird dude that's called Ceiling Fan Man was talking about is right. And then you're joyful and happy, and no matter what the world throws at you, you can find peace and comfort, because that's what he said he would do. When he left, and we can't see him and walk with Jesus like they did back in those days, but they didn't have it easy. Trust me, their days were even tougher than this. They weren't. You're kidding? The original people that walked with Jesus, they weren't worrying about if they had a wrench or not. There was no YouTube, And so it's like they had it tough, but they got to walk with God. Even the original Israelites got to walk with God, going out of Egypt and all that. And so we don't have that experience. But what we do have is this connection you can make. And Jesus doesn't walk next to you. He gets into you. He's in your heart. You always feel that he's with you all the time. Even when you're doing things are wrong. That's the worst. Is you don't do things because you think you're going to hell. You do it because God's watching you. He knows you shouldn't be doing whatever it is you've decided to do. And yeah, it's that, for me, it would be the Jewish guilt. I don't want to upset God anymore now that I understand the world we live in. I do my best to do that walk. But I also know the more you ask to have a deeper walk of God with God and deeper faith, the more you get tested. You can't get a gym membership and then never go and expect to get, stronger. So if you ask God, hey, I'd like to have deeper faith, careful what you wish for, because he'll give you things to strengthen your faith. So in other words, to strengthen your faith, if you can solve all your problems on your own without God, you don't need him. So just like the book of Job, which I highly recommend everyone read, it's a really amazing book. You have to read it more than once. He'll test your faith, or he'll allow your faith to be tested like he did with Job. Satan was able to do things to Job but not kill him. Why? To show that was a proof. And he did it to Job so that we could read the stories and pray to God, don't do that to me. I'll work on it without you having to do that or allow that to happen. Because the whole story of Job was, Satan said, if you take all the stuff away, of course he's loving you now, but take it all away and he'll hate you. And so he allows him to mess with him. He loses everything. He loses all of his wealth, his animals, his farms and all that. He loses his entire family. He then loses his health. He's covered in sores and all. I mean, it's a horrible story. And the first time I read it, I'm like, well, how can we love and pray to a God that could do this? It's a really tough story to read, but then you understand it. Because in the end, like any, story, you get to the end, spoiler alert, Job is healed. He has another family. Oh, but what about his first one? Well, if you believe the way that we do, when we die, we will see all those old souls too. So he had double the riches. God doubled him on every riches that he had on earth. And then he had double the family when he leaves this mortal coil and dusts off or whatever. So he enriched him in life and in death. But the story is there for us to understand. Because when you read the book of Job, he never, he got mad at God, but he never blamed God. He just said, I can't take it anymore. Take my life. Whatever I did, I can't seem to make you happy anymore. And he gets a little, like, the best part of the story is all his friends are there telling him why this is all happening to him. And his wife, which is really funny. Anybody ever think about this part of the story? I've talked about this before. Satan kills every member of his family except his wife. And what does his wife do? Says, oh, you know what, Job, you should just kill yourself. So, it's like Satan's killing everyone, and then he doesn't kill Job's wife, and there's like a demon grabbing on Satan's coat going, hey, he didn't kill his wife. It's like, no. Let's see how this plays out. I think she's on our side. Right? That's what happens in the story. But that was a proven test of faith. Because God comes in and he kind of yells at everyone, including Job. Because Job's like, he's like, why would you do this? And da-da-da. And God's like, really? Okay, I'll tell you what. Let me ask you a few simple questions. When you can answer these, then I'll explain to you why this all happened. And of course, within seconds, the questions God's asking of him, he feels terrible. I think he says, I'm just but a worm, forget I said anything, It's kind of fun. It's an interesting story. And so, but the takeaway is for us, so that way we can read these stories. And by God's grace, we won't have to go through those. Because that's exactly it. You got sections of the church. Some of them say that we're put in by faith alone. And some of them say we're put in by works. But at the end of the day, it's by God's grace. That's it. And in order to get that, first we need the faith. And the works just come. Like once you've gotten that feeling that I'm telling you about in the faith, he just expects this out of you, right? The fact that you get in your car and you drive down the road and you don't crash into a bunch of people and injure things and smash into a house, and you come home would you expect people to clap and say congratulations? You drove. I mean, maybe you're that bad of a driver, but I'm just saying, on average, it's just expected of us when we get behind the wheel. We follow the rules of the road and we stay in our lane, like I like to say in this show, and we drive safely. It's just like expected of us, and we don't expect every time we get in the car and do that some kind of reward, other than our life, But it's the same idea. The works just come from the walk with God. He expects that out of us. But neither one of those alone or together is your salvation. Your salvation is through Jesus, and it's by what? The grace of God. Thank you, Matt Pax. Is better than Friday night videos? Wow, okay. Now you're going way back. I remember that Friday night video show. But that's it. That's it in a proverbial nutshell. We're saved by his grace. And it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful feeling. Like I said, when I first woke up to this, you go, oh my God, what a nightmare. Why, God? Why? Just like Joe, why me? Why me? Why am I in this nightmare? Why couldn't I just live my life and die and never know any of this happened? But then you start realizing a bunch of things. One, there are no coincidences. The fact that we're awake and you're watching this show, it's because God chose you specifically to open your eyes to the lies of the world. And what you do with that information, well, there's your free will. You can decide to listen to the fun parts of this show and ignore the rest when I talk about God. That's your free will. He gives you that. If God did every decision for you, that would be no free will. If everything you ever did, he took care of. So we have free will. We have free will to follow him or to not follow him. We have free will to be an atheist or not, or whatever religion you choose. But in the end, there's only one way we get out of this, and that's by his grace. And there's only one true God, and it's through Jesus, just the way it is. So, having said that, we're at almost 3 hours plus a little intermission there, and but I think we're good. Yeah, we were chosen for this time. There's no accidents, I'll keep going for a minute. When I woke up to this and said, okay, why did I get picked for this time? First, I thought it was a curse. Like Monk, it's a gift and a curse. But then I realized how amazing it is that yourself and myself included, that he woke our eyes up to realize we've been lied to about everything, by everything and everyone. Everyone! Right? While the rest of the world is in fear, we're here being entertained.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Right? And if those times were happening, they were killing people, lions and stuff. And we think we got it bad because we have a wrench or something. You know what I mean? So here's the thing. Find this connection I'm talking about. And then the fear of the world goes away. The troubles of the world will still be with you. That's part of this test of faith. We all go through our own version of tribulation separately, not the main one. Everyone goes together. We all have strife in our lives, health issues, whatever. We're all experiencing it. But at the same time, yeah, Jan, we're blessed. God blessed us to be in this moment in time rather than 100 years from before, or 100, if we ever have that, 100 years from now. He chose us to be at this exact moment. There was no accident. God doesn't make a mistake. It's not a coincidence. We were chosen for this moment in time. What you do with your moment in time, that's your free will. And what are you going to do with it? For me, I felt the calling. I turned this camera on and I commiserate with you for a few hours there once a week. But for each and every one of us, it's something else. And so you find out what it means to you to be in these times. Because I do feel like myself and others, we're here, we're watchers on the wall, we're banging the drum, whatever you want to say. We're here to announce to people that we're in some serious times. God is real. He exists. He's here right now with you. And all you have to do is reach out and you can have that connection, the same relationship I have and others do. It's amazing, it's wonderful, and it's so easy, and it's free. So, having said that, I think it's time to go. Go wash up after the show and have something to eat. Or I could use the clay soap. He's a shill. But yes, thank you all for being here, and especially for sticking it out through those moments when they try to shut me down. It's nuts. But by God's grace, let's do this again. If not sooner, next Friday night. Same bad time, same bad channel. Check your local listings. And dear Lord, please watch over us and guide us through these times. Fill our hearts and minds with love and joy. Take the fear away as you've promised. And for those of us that are still questioning it, we ask that you come to their houses tonight and fill their hearts with the Holy Spirit and remove all darkness and demonic and evil energy that comes towards our houses. Bind and cast away as you've promised. Fill our hearts and our souls, and help us and heal us through these times with the power of Jesus through the Holy Spirit. We thank you so much for all of our blessings, including our life itself. Continue to guide us through these times with love and patience, and give us the same so we can fill our hearts with love and patience for those around us that aren't seeing it yet. We hope that everyone comes home. That is our wish. That is our desire. We thank you for all of our blessings. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay. Wow. Well, with that, you get this because the class is being dismissed.
Class is dismissed.
Said that with a knife in his leg. Okay. So again, thank you. Thank you to all the support during the show, after the show, whatever you want. If you want to buy soap, there's great soap. If you don't buy it. Just come back and watch it free again. What I would like to do is have you at least hit like and maybe share and subscribe. Those things all help out the algorithms in my channel. Other than that, just come back. And if you enjoy the show, you can sit back and not have to spend the time. And I'll love you just as much. Okay, I will. See, I'm saying yes. I'm not turning my head. No, I'm saying yes. Okay. All right. Having said that, hope everyone had a wonderful evening. And continue to have a great weekend. And we'll see you again soon. Thank you very much. God bless.
I'm the satellite.
$500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat.
Satellite transfer complete.